Hey everyone, it's Jacob here from the Story team, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to disallow AI from training on your IP. So let's just dive right into it. So we're currently on the pill terms page, and you can get there just by scrolling down all the way on the left on our documentation. So what are pill terms? Well, they're basically attributes or really a license agreement that you can attach to your IP upon registration to say this is how others can use my IP and this is how I don't want others to use my IP. And so one example of that is if we actually go to the official IP asset, this is on mainnet, this is our mascot. And so we have added terms to this asset that say, you know what, we want people to use it a certain way, but not in others. And so if we actually scroll down here, you can see that we've attached two licenses here. One of them is non-commercial, which has a 0 mint fee and 0 rev share, and you can use it non-commercially. And there's another license that says, hey, you have to pay me, 1 IP token to use it, and share 5% of any future revenue you earn, but you can use this non-commercially, right? You can put this on t-shirts and you can sell it, but again, you have to pay me an initial fee and a rev share. But there's more to it as well. If you click on this URI field, you'll see it also takes us to these what's called off-chain terms that just give a little bit more description into how you can use this asset. And one of those terms is AI learning models. And this is a Boolean value, true or false, that determines whether or not AI can train on this data. And so if you can imagine, because we've sort of set a standard for, where, how a platform can fetch this field, platforms like ChatGPT, Claude, DeepSeek, whatever, could read into license terms in a standardized way and see that they cannot use this for their training data, right? And so if we sort of walk through all of the terms, and we go onto this page here, you can see all the terms here, how they're actually written in Solidity code. And if you scroll down, you can see a description for each of them. So for example, a default minting fee is the initial fee that you pay upon licensing that asset. And commercial rev share, in addition to that, is how much, what percentage of rev share you have to pay if you make any money, right? And there's more, right? Whether or not you can make derivatives, etc. But in this URI field, this points to off-chain terms. And so right below, we see these off-chain terms, which again just gives a little bit more description, like where can you use this license, right? What license is it? What territory is this actually valid in? What are the channels of distribution? Can it be used on television, physical consumer products, video games, etc.? Is attribution required? What are the content standards, right? Does it follow the no hate and suitable for all ages? And also this AI learning models trait right here. So once you've sort of got an understanding for all these terms you can set on your asset, and again, you can set multiple licenses on your asset, you can go to this pill flavors tab. Now, this includes all of the most popular combinations of terms based on what we have seen and based on popular consumer need on the internet. So the first one is non-commercial social remixing. This is a license that allows you to basically say you can't use it commercially and you have to give me attribution, but you don't have to pay me for it, right? Or commercial remixing, which says, you know what, you have to pay me an upfront fee and pay me a certain percentage. So let's actually just go and dive into code for a second. And I'll increase the font just so all of you can see. But this is basically, if you go to, and I'll provide a link to this in the video as well, but if you go to this TypeScript tutorial repo, you can actually clone this directly to your computer, and you'll be set up just like I am here. So there's all these different scripts you can use to interact with Story, but of course in this video, I'm gonna show you how to disallow AI from training on your work, or to explicitly allow it. So in this register file here, again, under scripts and register, and also just really quickly, the only thing you have to do to set up this project is to put in your, your testnet private key and your Pinata JSON web token so that you can upload data to IPFS, and you'll see why that's needed in a second. So all you have to do is fill in these two things and make a .env file. So once you do that in this register file, this is already completely set up. And we can see that, right here, we're setting the IP metadata. So what is the actual IP? Well, it's a song, and I've put an image and a media URL for it. Then we also specify some NFT data for the underlying ownership NFT, which if you want to read more about that is on our docs as well. We upload that to IPFS, and then we simply register that asset. So it's pretty straightforward. And what we could actually do is just run npm run register, and this will actually, again, completely work. So it's already sort of set up for us. And if we wait for this to go through, we'll be able to actually visit this on our Explorer. So let's go ahead and do that. This will take us to our testnet Explorer, where if I play this, you can actually sort of hear the song directly on our Explorer and go down and see these are the license terms. So you can see I specified here a 10 IP minting fee and a 5% rev share, and we're seeing that right here. So a 10 minting fee and a 5% rev share, and if we go to this link, you'll see it takes us to this file as well. And this says AI learning models is false. So, that's that. But what if we wanted to customize this a bit, right? Let me show you how to do that. So what we can do is let's go to the pill flavors here, and let's go to commercial remix, right? Let's say we want to specify a rev share and a minting fee. We can click on TypeScript and just copy this. So let's go ahead and copy this and bring it over to our project, and we're going to say const license terms equals, and we're going to paste it. And actually, I already had written that in the definition, so we don't need that anymore, okay? And so for royalty policy, what we're going to put is actually in our utils file here. I have royalty policy LAP and royalty policy LRP. These are different royalty policies for basically determining how revenue actually flows up the ancestry chain. For the purposes of this example, we'll just use a random one, and we'll say royalty policy LAP, just again to make the example simple. For the minting fee, we will say, let's say it's a parse ether, and we'll put 1. This says that it's actually going to require a minting fee of like 1 IP, for example. And then for the rev share, let's just put, for example, 5, right? And this means 5%, okay? So once we've done that, this currency as well, we can say WIP token address, which is the currency that you use on Story. It's just wrapped IP token to use in the royalty module. So once we've done that, these are the license terms, but this URI field, again, is where we put those extra parameters, and we want to, basically set those ourselves. So what we can do is go to these terms, right, and let's just copy this over to our project, and let's say const off-chain terms equals, and we'll paste that here, okay? And once we've done that, now let's say we want to change AI learning models to true. We can do that. And now AI, we're explicitly saying that AI is allowed to train on this IP, okay? So now that we've done this, right, we want to basically put these off-chain terms inside the URI. And so what we can do, and we'll move this down. That way we can put the off-chain terms first and then set it down here. And in between, we'll upload them to IPFS. So we'll say off-chain terms IPFS hash. And Cursor's actually already suggesting it for me, is to use this upload JSON to IPFS function. Now this is a function I've already written inside the upload to IPFS file, and you can see all it's doing is taking in a JSON and uploading it to Pinata, which is why we had to specify the Pinata JSON web token in our env, and then it's going to return us a hash. And so right here, instead of this URI, we can actually say, and again, Cursor's suggesting it for me, is ipfs.io/IPFS and then the IPFS hash here. So we're just using the default IPFS endpoint there. So now instead of the terms here, the terms that we're going to set is the license terms that we put above, okay? And we can actually just enforce the type by making sure this is license terms, and we can actually import this from Story Protocol. So let's go ahead and add that here, license terms, okay? Perfect. So now that we've done that, let's go ahead and run this function again, and we should see that it actually gives us an asset with our own custom terms and explicitly allowing AI models to train on our data. So let's go ahead, view the link here, and we get to this page, and if we scroll down, we can see this is the license that was added, and if we click on the link, it'll take us to IPFS, and we can actually format it nice up here and see that AI learning models is true. And so now anyone, if they wanted to train on this IP, they could, that's pretty much it. So I hope this was helpful. Again, I strongly recommend checking out both the documentation on this and the TypeScript tutorial, which again allows you to clone this whole project on your computer and get started very quickly. So hope that helped, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.